Joyce manager said Usyk did everything possible to avoid the fight. Let's talk about it.
Push the weight and flex. Flex alive is more than the six. With the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Well, as reported on Boxing Scene, link will be in the description. Joyce manager says Usyk, his team did everything humanly possible to avoid the fight. Very strange article here. Olympic silver medal winner Joyce will be ringside for Anthony Joshua's mandatory title fight with Alexander Usyk. Joshua will defend his IBF, WBA, IBO, and WBO heavyweight titles against Usyk on September 25th at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. According to Joyce's manager, Sam Jones, listen to this. His boxer will indeed be sitting ringside to watch the action. Usyk, a former undisputed cruiserweight champion, is the WBO's mandatory challenger. Joyce is next fighter. This is how it's written. I'm reading how it's written. Joyce is next fighter under the WBO to become a mandatory challenger. At one point, Joyce and Usyk were in serious discussions to collide for the WBO interim belt before a deal was reached between the Ukrainian boxer and Usyk. This is written very strange. But I'll read on. Jones is realistic. He realizes that his boxer will have to wait a bit to get his mandatory title crack. He says, "No, it won't be next," said Jones to Sky Sports. "I believe that Joshua and Tyson Fury will happen if they both come through their respective fights." Now watch this. Now I want you to pay attention to what he says. He says, "Then after 2 AJ versus Fury fights, Joe could fight one of them." So he's already writing off Deontay Wilder. He's already putting the carriage before the horse. All right, he's already saying that Fury's going to win and fight AJ twice. He's already saying that, okay? But Joe will fight the WBO for the WBO title before AJ and Fury's rematch. I swear I'm reading it how it's written. So, Mr. Jones, he's completely written off Deontay Wilder. He's not concerned. All right, he's only concerned about what AJ is going to do, and Fury. All right, so Wilder's not an issue for him. He's not mentioned anything anywhere in this article. This is funny. This is funny stuff. He said their first fight will be for the undisputed title. But before the second, I believe the belts will become vacant. Wow, this is very interesting. Joe will fight whoever he needs to fight for that belt. Then the winner of AJ versus Fury. Joe respects Joshua, likes him as a person. They get on well, but Joe wants to he wants to fight the best. It's business. AJ and Fury are the best, so that's who Joe wants to challenge. Wow. This is interesting. AJ and Fury are the best, so that's who Joe wants to challenge. Okay. We'll get back to that in a second. Reflecting back, Jones explains that Usyk and his team were very difficult during their fight negotiations. All right. When it was spoken about, that Joe could Joe fight Usyk? Believe me, Usyk and his team did everything humanly possible to avoid the fight, Jones said. They know what Joe brings. Now, let's go back. This is a very disrespectful article. First of all, you guys were in negotiation. I'm talking about Usyk and Joyce. But I remember I put up a meme and I said, nothing moves without the consent of Deontay Wilder. Did a little meme and it pissed people off, and I don't care. Here's the deal. I was right about that. There's truth in every joke. The meme was Deontay Wilder sitting on his couch popping bottles, and there was pictures of some fighters underneath him. AJ, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, and Joyce. And the meme read, "Please let us fight." Well, y'all thought I was kidding? Joyce was waiting on Usyk. Usyk was a mandatory challenger for AJ, but AJ was waiting to see what Fury was going to do. And Fury was spending all year long trying to get out of the fight with Deontay Wilder. So it was all up to arbitration. Nobody made a move until he made a move. Deontay won the arbitration, and now Fury has to go into October 9th, kicking and screaming. Literally, kicking and screaming, because he didn't want the fight. So now, once that was done, AJ said, fine, okay, you wasted my time, you fat chitlin, Tyson Fury, you wasted my time. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fulfill my obligation with Alexander Usyk. So the whole time, Joyce was sitting there waiting in the wings like, yo, are we going to fight or are we going to fight? So, Mr., what's your name, Sam Jones? That had nothing to do with Usyk not wanting to fight Joyce. That was Joyce waiting on Usyk to see what the WBO was going to do. That was AJ waiting on Fury, Usyk waiting on AJ, and Joyce waiting on Usyk. All of this has everything to do with Tyson Fury. So I like how he's saying, okay, what did he say up here? It was, I ain't even going to go back and read it. Basically, you're writing off Deontay Wilder because he's not even spoken of. Mr. Jones, you're putting the carriage way before the horse. Way before the horse. All right? Usyk wasn't ducking Joyce. All right? Here's a news flash. I know you might not care, but no one cares about Joyce over here, the juggernaut. All right, and the sad fact is, I know you're hoping and praying that Deontay Wilder doesn't get his way, because if Joyce gets into the ring with Deontay Wilder, he's going to get his head knocked into the rafters. You know that's true. So I know you're trying to speak this into existence for your man Joyce, and that's a good job when you're in. But I'm reading all in between these messed up lines. I don't know if that's how you're really talking, or it is late. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, or I don't know. The writers on Boxing Scene had an off night. I don't know. This was messed up. Maybe it's me. I don't care. What I do know is this: nobody was ducking Joyce. All right, everyone was held up because Tyson Fury was spent all of 2021, damn near 2020, and a huge part of 2021 trying to get out of this contractual obligation. All right, so that's what happened. But I like how you're writing off Deontay. You're talking about 2 fights with AJ and Fury fighting twice, and Joe trying to get in between that. Look, none of that matters. Because I'm telling you right now, Deontay Wilder's about to put the kibosh on a lot of stuff. And I know y'all setting up to duck him. Y'all are setting, I'll say it again, y'all are setting up to duck him. Y'all talk about fighting for vacated belts and everything else. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. We already see what you guys are about to do. Undisputed is not on the itinerary for any of you guys. Especially when Deontay gets the WBC strap back. Magically, no one's going to want Undisputed anymore. I already see where this is going, man. This is an old trick. We're hip to your game plan. Cut it out. It's ridiculous. And once again, when Undisputed's on the table, we holding everybody's feet to the flames. You guys are hilarious, man. This is funny. This is hilarious. Bronx on deck.